The Creative Unraveling Paint-cast with your hosts, Leah and Jennifer. It's the January 25th, 2024 edition. Before we get going, just quick shout out to my chosen mom, Brenda. It's her birthday. Happy birthday! I love that lady so much and just appreciate all that she has brought into my world. And part of that is creativity. I loved watching. She used to toll paint and do other things like that as when I was a kid. I don't know how to describe toll painting. All I know is I thought it was fabulous, the things that she would create. And I loved watching her art and what that brought to my world. So thank you for bringing creativity by way of painting and such. She used to sew too, like incredible. Yeah. Into my world, Brenda, I love you so much and happy birthday. She's 47 again.
How did you get into quilting?
How did I get into quilting?
Yeah.
Well, one, I'm not really into quilting, but I do like to make Levi quilts. Okay. How did I get into it? I don't know.
That's a creative thing.
It is, and it's fun. Probably as a kid, I watched my mom and other people around me make them, and I just think it's kind of fun, and it's a great way to use old Levi and find. I like to put fleece on the backside of mine. Some people put flannel. I've seen some really fancy, like actually quilted ones.
Oh, okay.
I love pockets. And so I love making them. I have one that I've made that's just like all pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, super fun. So, wow. Yeah, I actually really enjoy doing that. So, quilting. Yeah, it's not, I don't know that's really considered quilting, but dang, the people who really know how to quilt, like using actual squares and shapes and quilting. Some people do it by hand. Some people have machines. Do you not know the difference?
No, not really. But I'm more stuck on like the people who actually know. I'm like, whoa, don't discount.
No. Well, I'm talking about who do actual quilting, and it is mind blowing to me the amount of work. And if you're ever gifted a quilt, like an actual quilted quilt done with the squares and the piecing together of all the things, and I mean really any kind of quilt, but it's just have a whole lot of respect and love for the person who's giving it to you, because they've put their heart and their soul and their time into it, and because those things aren't they don't just happen quickly.
Yeah.
So I have a couple that were given to me that I treasure dearly. In fact, almost a year ago, I ran into a man. I used to teach a pool class when I worked at Mount View Hospital, and one of the ladies gifted me this just beautiful quilt that she had done by hand. And I ran into her husband last year and learned that she had passed. And so it just like, it really struck me. And we talked about that quilt, and he remembered the quilt and how excited she was to share it with me. And so it's so super tender, that kind of stuff. If you're receiving somebody's like creativeness in whatever way it's creative, like really honor the gift of what it is, because they're giving you not just their art or their creative project, they're giving you a piece of themselves.
Yeah. So the time and the thought that goes into some of that stuff. One year we did with friends of ours, we did like homemade gifts, and you think that would be easy, but it was time consuming, because one of the girls had made a birdhouse out of all pennies.
What?
Because in Canada they're discontinued. So she had made a birdhouse out of like all these pennies, and just the meticulousness of putting that together was amazing. I think Cadence and I did graffiti, everyone's name in like graffiti with their favorite colors, and that was a fun process. But like even that was like, it was time consuming.
Yeah, it is time consuming.
But it's so fun to see people's faces when they get your gift. And so this is really just a way of saying, practice your creativity and see how it can bless another's lives. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think they know what you mean too. I had another thought in regards to it's now. Oh, I was just thinking about the time and attention that goes into the crafts that we participate in, or that we're practicing and honing our skills at. And I've been watching Leah work on some commissioned pieces for a gal, and this morning she started her fourth recreation of a particular painting, just because she's like, it's not right, and she's gotten far. I feel like it's far into these projects, and starting them over, and just watching the heart that goes into it, and all of the work and the effort again, and just the recreation of it. And it's not, sometimes I feel like that stuff, and I have been very guilty of this, is undervalued. And just with the heart and the attention and the time that goes into them, and watching, like having the opportunity to sit here and observe and witness, you pour yourself into the paintings that you're doing, whether you're sketching something out, or you're applying the layers of paint, or a little bit of detail that just makes it pop. It's been a super cool experience to like witness. And I don't know, I've been gaining a deeper respect for it. Kind of reminds me of when I went to when I've gone to other countries, and let me think, that I think it was Bali, because the trinkets and souvenirs, I couldn't think of the word, were not cheap there. But then you get an opportunity to actually see what goes into, they're actually sitting there hand making the jewelry, and
just your wallet,
hand carving. Yeah, my wallet that I got in Chile. And I don't know, I'm just getting a whole new respect of what that is, and how much we undervalue those pieces, especially when they're coming to us for free.
Yeah.
Or as a gift. So
well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did want to chat about that, but I'd like to get us started,
let's
and then
get started.
We'll chat a little bit about that. So again, if you want to, today is going to be just a fun, loose, heart-centered watercolor.
Jen needs this today, so thank you.
Yeah, and I think we all need it. It's kind of a gray day.
I actually have heard several people say that they're kind of getting their, in their words, their asses kicked right now, emotionally, and just clearing things out.
Yeah.
And that this full moon is really challenging people, and as far as clearing things out. So I think you're right.
Yeah. So you just need a couple of Sharpies. Jen's like, what kind of Sharpie, thin or thick? And I said, both. Like I'm so committed to not telling you how to do your art. Like
I actually love and appreciate that. As the one who's like really trying to move through the perfectionism of this artwork for me, especially with watercolors, because they don't obey.
No, they don't.
And I just appreciate that that's how you go about it, and you let me, but us in general, like figure it out and fill it out. And
well, and I think like when I was learning, I couldn't stick to how they were teaching it. I was either too impatient. I just didn't like it. And I just need to find some techniques. And if that's what this can be, a place to, have conversation and shift in perspectives maybe, or just like have someone be a companion to you while you're messing around with paints, and allow yourself to just play and learn some techniques. Like that's really what I want this to be. So when you get an idea come through, you have some tools to bring that to life on your paper. So
I love it.
Yeah, I taped down the papers today because this one's going to be wet. Yeah. So you just,
does that mean we're going to wet down our whole page?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
I'm learning.
And I'm going to share something. Today I did an eye, and one of my favorite techniques is like taking a light color and then going around the very edge with a darker color. So we're gonna practice that in our heart stuff today, and just play around with it. We're just gonna have some fun and let it be loose and fun. So I'm gonna switch over to loose. It's so funny because my family doctor's name is Dr. Luce, but it's Luce. And so I always think of that when I say that.
Lucy.
Okay. No, you need to put me on.
Oh, yeah. Let me help you with that. You're getting you countdown.
There we go. Okay, and we're on. So I'm gonna.
You know what's funny is you guys are seeing a page that's like straight on the table with the camera. It's like totally crooked on the table. It's kind of funny.
Okay, so we're just gonna draw some hearts. It can be. I encourage you to do all sorts of sizes, thicknesses. Make them thin hearts. Whatever feels good to you. How your heart's feeling right now. Like they can overlap. They can totally overlap. They don't have to be perfect. They can be sideways. You can do them in your thin marker, your thick marker. They can be off page.
Oops, that one looks like a bum.
That's okay. Sometimes you have bum hearts.
That's funny.
Mine have really big upper parts. I had thought about like doing stencils, and I'm like, not everyone has a stencil, like, and that's okay. And we could make one or 3 different kinds so you have a variety of them, but it's just we draw hearts. And if it looks like a bum, then it can look like a bum.
It's a cute bum, though.
There you go. So, a few hearts. Have fun with it. Again, they can overlap, change shapes. When I was thinking of today's paint cast, I was thinking very much of starting that commission over again. Hey, you two. Hey, Luba.
What?
What's up?
Luba! Oh my
Been
gosh.
a minute.
Luba, you know what's funny is you've been on my mind today. I actually been thinking about you. I'm not sure if there's anything that's just like poked my mind that brought you to mind, but you've been on my mind. Oh, I saw your Facebook post of you and Ella when you were little. Super cute. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're painting with us today. What the? I like him seriously behind in the heart drawing. Good heavens.
We miss you too, Luba.
How are you seeing that?
Because I have it on my phone.
Why? I should be able to see that on here.
That's a great face, Jen.
There we go.
There you go.
Ah, there we go. Hey, Luba, I still have your credit card. Just so you know. Did you love those? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. How old were you guys in that picture? So Luba, for those of you who are unaware, is one of our sisters that we met while we were all speaking over in India. And we became good buddies, good friends, and soul sisters. And we love when Luba joins us. Luba also hosts retreats and such for women in business and leadership. And we went to one in Florida. It was fabulous. She's getting ready to do another one in Tulum.
Yeah, Tulum, Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think I saw 4 more spots left.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When was that one? Why can we not go to that
April, because it's in
April? Because it's the race.
April 4th to 10th or something.
Jen hosts a trail race, an ultra marathon in April. So Tulum was not good timing for us. Oh my word, I need to get on the ball here. I need to get on the heart here.
You get on the heart. There you go.
It's kind of how I feel though. Like my heart feels a little squishy today, not gonna lie. So drawing them is just kind of poking at me today.
Oh.
Oops.
I was thinking today when I was thinking of what come to Nashville in May. I think that's the money one, isn't it?
We'll have to look at that.
Yeah. That would be fun. Yeah, I was thinking today about kind of what you were saying earlier about.
Okay, hold on. Luba, are you joining us in August? Like, yeah, come hang out with us in August. That's not just an invitation to Luba. That's an invitation to all the amazing women out there. And dude, Corey, I've been actually thinking about this coming your direction because Corey makes incredible art. And I'm not just saying that because I'm related to him. This is a handsome man with some talent that I didn't even know he had. Thank you for the invite, Corey. Let's chat that out because I would love to come your direction.
Corey has a
live and unscripted with us.
Yeah.
What else? Are you talking about Man Cub?
Yeah, I was talking about Man Cub.
Yeah. Man Cub is his 8 or 9-year-old son who is just a kick in the pants.
Kick in the pants.
I love the story. Corey's a really great storyteller, and I love hearing the stories that he shares about Man Cub.
Hey Corey, wasn't he going to start a podcast or something? Or a story
something like that. Corey was trying to figure out exactly what he wanted that to look like. Not exactly, but I think, sometimes life shifts. Maybe that shifted. I'm not exactly sure, but this boy's been able to tell stories. He's been telling stories since he could open his mouth and talk. And they're pretty great.
Nice.
Ooh, in the forge. Now that's stuck in my mind, Corey. I totally want to come do that.
What's the forge?
Where he creates the art he creates.
Metal?
I seriously want to learn how to do that, bro. Like, yeah. Corey, type in here like where people can see your stuff. I want people to see your stuff. It's gorgeous. And I love that the Man Cub has taken an interest to it as well. And
oh yeah, he made one at Christmas time,
doing his own stuff. And I actually would like some of it in my own home. I'm just not sure what. Trip to Washington sounds pretty fabulous. Haven't been there for a while.
Washington is
and dude, maybe we could do some singing. Like I miss that part, and I would love to do that with you as well.
I have to remember where Washington is.
Washington is on the West Coast, above Oregon.
Oh, okay, above.
It also borders Canada.
I thought so. I had Seattle in my head.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what were we talking about before we noticed Corey got on here? It's on my personal page mostly. I'm working on getting an Etsy page going so it's available to the public.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I love that for you. Like, so big. I love that for you.
That's cool. I'm like, where? Oh, it is on Facebook. Oh, you know what that is? I think that's on your personal page.
I love that I get to see his name.
Yeah, because that's a first.
Why is that?
I think that's because it's on your personal page instead of the group.
Okay. I love it.
Right?
And Luba, isn't it cool that we knew who you were? Like, it just says Facebook user, but we totally knew who you were.
Okay. I was, so when I was thinking of doing this today, I was thinking, because I'm starting that piece again for the 4th time, I appreciate that you said to me today, because I was looking at it, I'm like, this isn't my work. This isn't like complete. This doesn't look right. And I, looking at it again for the, and redoing it, you said something about you're just working the concept.
Mm-hmm.
You're just playing around with
like
the
4 times she's like, this isn't my work. I'm like, well, it is. You're just playing around with the concept until like it finally just came to like a more complete vision of what it is you're creating. And
Yeah. And I think what I wanted to share, wherever you are in your creative journey, don't be afraid to start again. Don't be afraid to let go of the work and the time investment that you put in something that didn't turn out quite the way you wanted it to.
That piece, that's been challenging for me sometimes.
It is, because it becomes precious, and you don't want to,
Like right now.
you don't want to feel like that time was wasted, or that it didn't. You want to judge your skill. You want to judge, what you're doing, and that you don't know what you're doing. But the reality is, you're learning. You need to make it more wet. Because it would be easy, like totally easy for me to get upset and be like, what the heck? I've wasted watercolor paper. I've wasted time. But I'm learning, and I'm feeling out what I'm seeing in my head more each time I show up to it. And it shows up different every time. And it comes easier. Oh my gosh. Like, I felt like I was spending hours on something that somewhere I knew wasn't, I knew it wasn't right.
She kept saying, it doesn't feel right. I just don't know. But the other thing too is you wouldn't go back to it. And when you would, it was like,
yeah. And I
consternation.
avoided it.
Yeah.
I totally was avoiding it because I was so annoyed with it. Like, what on earth is this? Like, I just want to get this done. But I think that's just learning the process that works for me, and trusting when it doesn't feel right. And I think I was trying to, because it was the third time through, I was like committed that this is going to work out this time. Let it dry and you'll see how it combines together. But how we can get stuck on things that aren't working, and we don't want to let them go because the thought of starting again, like the blank paper syndrome, I think of, and how the blank paper plays out in our everyday lives. Like, it can feel intimidating to start something again, or to try something a different way, especially if it didn't turn out the way that you thought it would. Like, that can be super frustrating.
I'm like, tell me how that plays out in life.
Do you actually?
Yeah. I think it's great. Like, it's a great, like,
I think our
metaphor
kids are,
and stuff for life. Like, we're getting to experience some of that right now, and it's painful.
I think kids are a beautiful training ground to learn to show up, to continue to show up, and to try things in a different way, because you have that bond, and because you're committed to figuring it out, whatever, or feeling it out, whatever that looks like.
Doing it different than maybe you had. Like, there's lots of stuff tied to that. Did she just say no way?
I think she was saying no way to how we knew it was her.
We love you. We vibe you.
I think it's challenging. Like, it's hard to start again. I was fighting starting that one again. I didn't want to, because I'm like, again, the third time. And time is precious. And part of me just didn't want to start it again. Like, this was good. But I couldn't put my name on it either. Like, I wouldn't feel good about that. It's hard sometimes, though.
Well, our kids, in essence, they're our artwork. They're our creativity. We put a lot of time and energy into them, and we maybe don't get paid our worth for what we invest into them, and sometimes it can be challenging when they don't see that either, and things change, or they grow up and they have their own opinions and their own. It can feel challenging sometimes, and just downright painful.
How's it coming?
Well, you know, I'm applying paint to the page, so
Well, there you go.
I'm intentionally trying not to look at yours because it doesn't do what yours does. And that frustrates me. Did you say actually?
Right now?
No, and I'm like, what's the life lesson in that?
Are
Actually?
you actually asking me that, or are you just being silly?
No, I was actually asking.
I think sometimes it's just hard to show up. Like I think of that in other places, but also giving yourself the grace of bandwidth. Like I think of all the things that I was doing this time a couple years ago, even last year, and I want to be judgy of myself. Like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And just realizing I'm in a space of my own. I'm in my cocoon right now, and I'm just coming out and drying my wings. Like I saw this post. I saw this post, and it was something about having patience of who I'm not yet. Like I'm not who I was, but I'm not who I am yet.
That can be challenging.
It is
the patience of that.
Well, and I think I don't know. I keep going back to this idea or that thing you shared the other day.
From Creative Wonders on TikTok about if you want your new life, you have to let your old life die. That one.
Yeah, that one.
That's a toughie. I know I'm experiencing it.
And I think of that a lot. But like growth comes when you're at a point you're tired of your own stuff, you know. And I've heard myself say that a few times this week of just being tired of the same story that I feel has been something that was limiting to me, just because it's what I knew. And now that I know better and I know different, I can't hear those stories, and I can't buy into those stories the same way that I used to. And it leaves you with a sense of not misdirection, but like you have no direction. I knew how to navigate my world.
You just pull yourself off the table while you're talking with your hands.
I knew how to navigate my world. I knew where to go, what to do, how to behave.
Wait, we know how to navigate the crap,
right?
And not that it's all crap, but
we
know how to navigate the old stuff.
Yeah, and it's just it's so different when you're in that transitioning of what the new sense of your life looks like. What's this new world? You know, it's such a surreal feeling. When you're in that space of seeing that is your life, but also feeling not
actually
detached,
but actually seeing the old life and the new life together. Like you're in the new life, but you see the old life.
Yeah.
Like what? That's. I still am unsure how to describe that feeling.
Yeah.
I love that you just tried.
Yeah, it's been a wild year, and I find myself in a place of gratitude for all the blessings and the lessons that I'm getting to experience, and some of them it's really challenging, but it's at the same time there's so much calm that even if I'm navigating through challenging feelings at the time, it's not, it doesn't make me go to a place of questioning. It helps me acknowledge the feelings and the thoughts. I watch the thoughts more than
that part
attached to them.
That part's been fascinating,
right?
How we can actually sit back and watch those things roam around and try to take up space and make us believe them.
Yeah.
Kind of like a pinball machine. Sometimes it makes me a little dizzy and whiplashed, but I just don't feel like it's like doing what
you're telling it to.
Yeah, what you say it's supposed to be doing.
Well.
Oh, but wait, you don't tell us what it's supposed to be doing.
No.
So what I think it's supposed to be doing.
Just let it see what it's. I look at painting as a way to teach you, as a way to teach you patience, or teach you teach you grace, teach you flexibility, teach you experimentation and curiosity. And
I'm like, Corey, do you feel that way about being in
yeah,
the forge and the art that you do? Like, is it teaching you, or what is it teaching you? Maybe is a better way to ask that.
what?
I don't know. I feel a little lost today, and so it just feels a little bit like a challenge.
You could totally go rogue, pick up the big paintbrush and go around all the hearts and go over the heart and then just drop in paint.
I actually contemplated doing something like that, so we'll see.
I dare you.
I'm gonna paint these a little bit more, and I'd be curious as to what you, the viewer, like, what kinds of things are you experiencing here in this new year by way of maybe just old dying off, like stepping into new lives or new challenges, or yeah, freedom. I've been thinking a lot about freedom.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What about freedom?
We often hear that freedom isn't free.
Not your toe?
Toe.
Gotcha.
I sliced the toe. Super, super tender still. Yeah, I would love to hear like what it is you're experiencing that way, and what it looks like and how we can support you in that. I don't even know.
Do you need to know?
All right now. I'd like to know.
What would you like to know?
I don't even know.
Okay.
Like honestly, I'm just in a space where I feel a little lost, and so this is it's good, but it feels a little challenging today. Maybe because it's not doing what I would like it to do, and neither are some of the players and pieces in my life.
Ooh, that was deep. Dang. Why can't we just play nice? Dang it.
Right, but at the same time, to be fair, they very easily could feel the same way. I'm not playing the same game and stuff that they are accustomed to, and I'm sure that feels a little crunchy, or a lot crunchy for them too.
That was so cool.
What was so cool?
Just that the heart stuff isn't going the way you want it to, and it's not doing what you want it to, and just how you relate that to life stuff. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what our paints teach us, what are being in these moments, the revelations that come when you allow yourself a space to play.
Did you just say revelations or revelations?
Revelations.
They're revelations in my book.
The revelations. I was thinking a lot this morning as I was painting about how challenging it is to feel. Like, you talk a lot about feeling, and how much we can be shamed, especially like for showing emotion or for sharing tears.
And I'm a very feeling person, and tears come easy for me. Like that sometimes can be a challenge.
And I just think of places like how much we resist that. I think of my
When you laugh like that, I'm like, oh man, what is she gonna say?
I'm not sure how to share it, but I feel like it's important to share.
Okay.
We had a visitor here for a couple weeks, and she decided to take this time away from her everyday to kind of have a reset. Getting away
and literally detox.
Yeah,
like
getting away from vaping, getting away from the crazy work schedule that she has, getting out of her environment. I was very much like that, is like go, go, go. The busier you are, the more useful you are, the more productive you are. Like,
hey, to be in all fairness, I very much have been in those spaces as well.
Yeah.
And the reality is we're taught that, which is not what we teach here at Rebels, by the way.
So when she was here, she had like 4 days of just a lot of emotion and releasing. And she's like, I never do this. And I'm like, because you never give yourself a space to do it. And there, there's things around having a safe space, a physical space that's not intruded upon. And I think it's just so important to have those spaces.
It was really cool to watch as the transformations took place, to watch the breathing that then took place, just as the slowing down of the mind and the heart started to actually take place, and feeling, which gosh dang can be scary at first. And like, why I don't want to do this, I want to go back to not feeling, and why did I choose this,
right? Like why is it easier to not feel? Because if we give her space to feel, we don't carry that, so then we feel better in our bodies. I mean, it is intense and it is scary, but like if we give ourselves the space to feel it, then it can move through, and then you can move on. You're not holding on to that negative energy and allowing it to settle in other places. Like I know she used to struggle a lot with stomach pain or back pain, and just recognizing how holding on to certain emotions really played a part in some of that pain she was experiencing. So it was quite the experience to.
It was really beautiful to witness, at the same time painful at times.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable to be the person witnessing that, and that takes a special. I think that's a gift, but it also can be learned, to be able to sit in someone else's discomfort and pain as they move through things, and learn how to feel.
Well, I think of what I've learned from our interactions is the idea of holding space, and not that I'm going to fix it for you, not that I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to hold this space for you and sit there with you in that pain and discomfort. And it's
hard sometimes.
It totally is. It's that piece of just listen, or just be there. As a proximity thing. One thing I wanted to share is, she had shared that she was, in those days, was really concerned that she was going backwards. She had worked so hard to get to this point, and she was past all this stuff, and that she was feeling like her progress, that because she was feeling so emotional, that all her progress was somehow not there anymore. And I had the opportunity to remind her, like, just because you're having a moment that feels heavy, and that you're releasing a lot of pent up emotion, doesn't mean that you're not well. and that you've lost all the work that you've put in. Like, no one can take that away from you. You have that, and that stays with you. And it's just giving yourself grace to have days that feel challenging. So I don't know. I just think of it was quite the 2 weeks.
It was, and it was, like I say, it was beautiful too. To just, it's such an incredible thing to sit with somebody, to be able to sit with someone in their pain, or their discomfort, or and to do it and not know what to say. To just be there, and to.
I learned I have trouble when I don't know what to say. I will say nothing, or but I learned in those interactions that sometimes that can feel worse. And the suggestion was, to say, I've heard you. I really don't know what to say right now, but let me sit with this, so that the person still feels seen and heard and acknowledged, but that you're not like you're not indifferent, or like you don't care, or I just appreciated that insight. I think
Colors.
You what?
I couldn't remember what color I just picked up.
They're pretty close. It's like a tie-dye heart day.
Yeah.
So I don't think I did a very good job explaining how to do any of that. I got busy chatting, but
Really, it was just an opportunity to paint and to stay consistent and show up, and I appreciate that, because sometimes we just need days to just be consistent and show up for ourselves more than really anybody else. So thank you. I told Leah, she asked me if she actually asked me if I wanted to do this, and I told her, because I've had a rough afternoon, like, all truth be told, and I didn't know if I'd be able to maintain to do this. And I told her, I'm like, I'm not going to run from this. I'm going to show up, because I'm important to show up for, and so are you. First for yourselves, and then for other people. So
I love it.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate
It's like, I had no idea what this is going to be, but I'm okay with it. It's not, I don't even know. I'm okay with it.
I love this.
I actually want to after it dries, I probably will take paint and splatter it, just because that's how I feel today.
Yeah, I say do it. And when it's dry is the best time to do it. So if you are on our Rebel Facebook page, the Righteous Rebels.
That's the Facebook group.
You'll find what's called the art gallery. So there we invite you to share any art, if you participated today or in any of the past,
or your own art.
Yeah,
whatever that is. Okay.
If you did today's or another one, we invite you to share there, or whatever art that you create. I've seen crocheted llamas. I've seen
today.
Someone shared a quilt that they had made.
Yours is always brighter.
I dip my paints hard in, like, see the holes. Like,
I dip in the holes even.
Like, I just like mash my
goes
paintbrush.
After it.
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Legit,
I totally
she goes
do.
after it.
I see. I never learned formally how to watercolor, so I'm still always experimenting and playing with it and figuring it out as I go along. So I do see how other watercolor artists they'll make a wash on this part of their tray, and I'm sure it's more paint efficient than what I do, but I love the vibrancy that comes out doing it the way I do it. So
I do too. Like, I'm always like, wait, how'd you do that? Like, mine looks so pale in comparison, but it's okay. I'm learning. One of these days I'll just really squish my paintbrush in there.
That one really sticks out to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's some brightness on here.
Yeah.
But I think this reflects a little bit how I feel. So
and let's splatter away at it. I think that'll be a great thing.
You were talking about the art gallery.
Yeah, so you're welcome to share art if you participated with us, or your own art, whether that's cooking or a win. Actually, we haven't done that in the Rebel group for a while to celebrate a win. That's a CAW, so celebrate all wins. And it could be if you if the win was getting up today, that's a win. If you read some pages of a book, that's a win. If you showed up to paint today.
I'm laughing because I'm like, P.S. She did not just scowl at me. She realized she ran into my foot and my toe. That was like, I did it again. We want to say thank you to those of you who are joining us from LinkedIn, from my personal page, or from our YouTube, the Righteous Rebel YouTube channel. If you are not a member of our Righteous Rebel Facebook group, head on over there, click the join button, and we'll let you in. That's the first place that we advertise any of the activities that we're doing. It's where we host the Paint-cast. It's where we host the podcast on Wednesdays, the live and unscripted. It's where announcements will be made. It's where we put everything first.
Yeah.
And then we will put it out. Have we hosted these over on therighteousrebels.com? We do.
I have them. There's a page for them. We don't host. They're not live.
No, but they're over there.
Yeah. You can see. Okay. You can see past shows at therighteousrebels.com/creative unraveling
or /live and unscripted.
Yeah. Live and unscripted podcast. If you just go to the menu.
Yeah.
If you remember therighteousrebel.com, there'll be a menu and you'll find what you need there. You can find out about the river trip too. Registration is open for our trip in August.
Yeah. What does it take to get into that trip?
So it's a $500 deposit. And then you can split it up into 2 payments.
Here's what we're saying about that. If you want to save yourself some dollars, it ends up being a couple hundred, maybe around $250. Reach out before you register, and we'll assist you with how you can save some registration fees, processing fees. If you don't care, register right online. Not a big deal. We really would like to have you there.
Yeah, and it's a great business write-off.
Who's it for?
It's for leaders. Whether you're a leader of your family, a school, at work, wherever,
right? A business,
a group of people,
of yourself.
Yeah.
I think
mostly a leader of yourself, because when we can lead ourselves, we can lead others more effectively. So
yeah. If you're creative, if you're writing a book, if you're painting, if you are doing a podcast, there's plenty of opportunities to create content while you're out there. A lot of things to create metaphors for life and life lessons if you're a coach. Or just a leader. There's so much out there, and I personally struggle like squishing it into like, here's what it is, because there's so much to it. A lot of people think it's just a vacation, and it's so much more. So
and there's going to be photography going on too.
What?
And really, I think the most important element is getting you out of your everyday life and putting you in a totally different environment so you can show up and see yourself in a totally different light, in a way that you've never seen yourself, with a whole group of different people who are supportive, and it's a safe space. And
who are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like putting themselves out there in ways that feel scary, that like I've heard people say, yeah, but I'm afraid. Well, okay. That's okay. That's okay to be afraid. Like,
yeah.
We were
do
afraid.
It scared. do it scared.
That's how we do most things, is scared. And that's how that fear is a really great messenger for you, and not to hold you back. It's to say, hey, there's value in this. So head on over, get registered. It's $500. We do have it broken down into a couple of payments because we recognize that it's an investment. And we recognize that it's a challenge also to invest in yourself. And this is your invitation to just jump right into that and get yourself in the boat.
Just something about fear. Like, a lot of our fear is based on what we've already experienced, you know, and we go to what the worst case scenario is, but that's a 50-50 shot, right? It can also be the best case scenario, and we usually end up somewhere in between or far beyond what we could have ever imagined could happen. So when you're thinking like, I'm afraid this is out of my comfort zone, remember that's based on what you've only lived to this point. And what you're projecting is or imagining other people's experience has or could be, but it doesn't mean it has to be yours. So,
and the reality is, if you want to level up, if you really want freedom, you have to move past comfort zones.
Well, I think of actively creating your life, and that doesn't happen with what you know. It doesn't happen in a cookie cutter place.
It's amazing how often I still go back to what my experience was on the river. Both those pieces that were like so peaceful and so just awe-inspiring and amazing, and those pieces, like there's a couple of places where I picture myself in the like the devil's tooth rapid, like sometimes I'm like, how did I make it through that? Because we did it in a inflatable kayak for 76 of 80 miles. And I look at how I pushed my edges, because I went to push my edges, and the lessons and the things that I am still learning, however many months later, 6 months later, are still blowing my mind. You know, Kate told us that it's an experience that would bleed into the rest of your life, and that's no joke. Yeah, that's no joke. So
that's your invitation to get in the boat. If you want to find out more about it, it's on therighteousrebels.com, and it'll take you right to the river. Surviving life and leadership. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, and until next time, I'm going to invite you to not think of creativity as something that it can do for you, but what can you bring to life with your creativity?
Ooh, I love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah. All right. See you.
Take care.